we educate, we entertain. We are the people's 105.5 FM, Abuja.
In the story of progress, every chapter of development adds depth, richness, and meaning to our collective narrative. From the smallest steps to the grandest strides, every act of development paves the way for a brighter tomorrow. Welcome to the Development Report on People's 105.5 FM, where we'll talk about pressing issues surrounding sustainable development. I'm all about everything development, from women's empowerment to children's rights to climate change, water resources, food waste, waste management, and more. I am Ife Onyekwere, and together we'll be coming close to our common good as a nation as we spotlight champions who turn trash to treasure on today's edition. We'll explore the incredible ways individuals and communities are coming together to, transform waste, such as plastic waste, into valuables, and then creating economic opportunities as well as promoting sustainability. So we had to bring in someone who practices this to talk about this so that it can be very relatable, because we started the conversation of plastic waste 2 weeks back, and last week we had to bring in a climate and energy expert who encouraged us to try to do away with so much leather, nylons and all like that, and then maximize other options to plastic. She was encouraging producers to seek biodegradable options for packaging. And when I say biodegradable options, so we're not doing this program for only people who are familiar with these terms, yeah? So you're listening to me and you're wondering, what are these biodegradable materials you're talking about? So if something is made with plastics, things that cannot really be broken down easily, it could be difficult, by the time you trash them or we just put them carelessly away, it will be difficult to actually make these things harmless. So at the long run, we find out that these materials become harmful to our soils, and these are the soils we use to actually plant the food we eat. So biodegradable packaging is important because it reduces plastic waste, minimizes environmental pollution, and it breaks down naturally, which will also prevent soil and water contamination, right? And so this in the long run now adds to sustainable practices and contributes to a healthier planet for every one of us. So it concerns you listening, and it concerns us in the studio as well. I'm sure you want a cleaner and safer environment. I'm sure you're sick of hearing the news of things going wrong, or things that are affecting our climate and all like that. So that's why this concerns every one of us. And I'll not be doing this alone. We have in the studio a sustainable fashion entrepreneur. Like, I love that title. Could you just introduce yourself?
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Membe Uye, and I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you. So, she is actually an upcycler, dedicated climate activist and experienced community organizer, and she's been doing this for over some years. And the bane of this is to transform, art of turning plastic bottles into jewelries. You need to see the earring she's actually wearing right now. Like, it's amazing. I really want to know the process of all this, and how you got to this point to have these beautiful earrings on your ear. Well done. So we've not gotten to the part where I'm going to be asking questions, and then everyone who wants to participate is going to be asking questions. But at this point, I would want to say, why the passion for upcycling? Why?
Why the passion for upcycling? I know right from growing up, I've always been a holder. I loved picking things and keeping things, but I really didn't know what it was about until 2019, when I participated in a program organized by Street Project Foundation, and there was a lady there. I always say that my story can never be complete without me mentioning Mrs. Ifeoluwa.
Oh.
And she was an upcycler as well. She liked doing a whole lot of things with waste, and I picked interest in what she was doing, and I just fell in love with whatever she was doing, and that was where my upcycling journey started.
Wow.
And since then, I have been upcycling.
Wow, you can see the little things. When I started, I said from the little things we do to the biggest steps we actually take. So it was actually because you went for this program and you met her, and wow, yes. Amazing. And so how much more programs will be done, and how much more people would actually embrace, sustainable practices and even make a business out of it, from what individuals, NGOs, communities, are doing surrounding sustainable development. All right. You can actually join the conversation on social media. We are at People's 105.5 FM, and you can join via the telephone line. You can actually call in on 0911 222 1055. And on WhatsApp, you can send a message on WhatsApp via 0911 112 1055. And on Twitter, I am at TDEV Report, TDEV Report. So straight up, we'll be taking some development news stories shortly, and then I'll be back.
We inform, we educate, we entertain. We are the people's 105.5 FM, Abuja.
Nigeria signs hydrogen development agreement. FCTA boosts youth entrepreneurship in secondary schools. Nairobi professor points to Africa's potential to address climate challenges. The federal government, through the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, has signed an agreement with the Foundation for Sustainable Social Responsibility in Emerging Africa to develop hydrogen as a future fuel. According to the chairman of Foundation for Sustainable Social Responsibility in Emerging Africa, Aliu Haida Mijinyawa, the initiative aims to boost Nigeria's energy sector to position the country within the global hydrogen economy. He emphasized that hydrogen represents significant investment opportunities, that this partnership will place Nigeria at the forefront of sustainable energy development. The Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, is upscaling efforts to promote entrepreneurship among secondary school students across 6 area councils to combat rising youth unemployment. During the 4th FCT Secondary School Board Students Trade and Entrepreneurship Exhibition in Abuja, Director of the FCT Secondary Education Board, Dr. Mohammed Ladan, emphasized the commitment of FCT Minister Nyesom Wike to equip students with essential entrepreneurship skills. The initiative, involving 88 schools, concluded in a competition where Government Secondary School Kuduru Buhari emerged as the top winner, highlighting the program's success in promoting future entrepreneurs. Chief Executive of the Global Center on Adaptation and the new Chancellor of the University of Nairobi, Professor Patrick, says Africa has the potential to tackle present climate challenges with innovative solutions. Speaking recently, he emphasized that Africa's vast natural capital and youthful population positions it uniquely to lead in climate adaptation. The professor on Global Center on Adaptation stressed the importance of international support and investment to realize this potential in Africa. And that's it on the development news segment. Keep it locked right here for more engaging content.
When clouds go gray, the thunder roars and the earth sings. The season's just beginning. The sunlight it hides as the clouds make way. From the pouring of my blessings, I will not be afraid. I see it now, I understand, I know. So I embrace it, dance. In the rain, it's for my seed to grow. For every prayer and every seed I've sown, the Lord of the harvest knows I'm reaping back 100-fold. The land is green, it's green, oh, oh. The land is green, it's green, can't you see? The harvest is ready, 'cause the Lord of the harvest told me so. It's green for me. It's green for me. Standing alone can be a heavy load, but my vows I won't be breaking. Though my heart is aching, I got a word and I won't let go. It's your will I'm seeking, so I keep on believing. I see it now, I understand, I know, so I embrace it, dance. Once again it's time for me to grow. For every prayer and every tear I've sown, Lord of the harvest knows I'm reaping joy 100-fold. The land is green, it's green, oh, oh. The land is green, it's green, can't you see? The harvest is ready, 'cause the Lord of the harvest told me so. It's green for me. I thought it was over, thought you were done with me, but we're just beginning. Whoa, my life is a journey. I will walk with you, I will go where you want me to. Yes, I will go. Come on. Told me that the land is green. Hey, yeah. It's green, oh, oh. The land is green, it's green, can't you see? The land is green, it's green, oh, oh. The land is green, it's green, can't you see?
All right, that was The Land is Green by T.Y. Bello. Yeah, the land needs to be green. All right, so let's look at data surrounding recycling. On the global scale, I have here that approximately 400 million tons of plastics are produced manually. And in the global scale, only about 9% of plastic waste is recycled globally. Wow, that's a huge gap, right?
Yeah.
And then down to Africa, we have that on the average, only about 4% of plastic waste is recycled across Africa. And Africa generates around 19 million tons of plastic waste per year. Moving down to our beloved country, Nigeria. Nigeria produces about 2.5 million tons of plastic waste annually, and roughly 10 to 15% of plastic waste is recycled in Nigeria, primarily through informal sectors. And for this reason, we want to start the discussion. We have a guest in the studio who is going to be sharing her expertise with us. She's going to be, enlightening us on what upcycling is about and how she started a business out of this. Remember, you can join the conversation. The topic today is community champions, turning trash into treasure. We have our guest who actually upcycles plastic bottles into jewelries. You can join the conversation on telephone at 0911 222 1055, and on WhatsApp you can join the conversation on 0911 112 1055. All right. So how long have you been in the upcycling business, and what was your early days like? What was it like?
Okay, I started upcycling since 2019. Like I mentioned before, it all started in a boot camp organized by Street Project Foundation. When I first started, that time I used to feel like when I'm going on the street, I'll be feeling like probably maybe if I see plastic lying around, it'll be like they are calling my name, pick me. And most times if I'm going to weddings or going to parties, I always have like an extra bag where I'll wait for the party to be over, and then I'll pack my plastic bottles and then go home to upcycle. On my streets, people used to look at me like, is this girl normal?
Because you were picking plastics.
Yes. Even up till now, there are sometimes maybe I need some materials to work with, and I might just come out on my street with a nylon bag, and I just want to sort out some things I want to upcycle, and people will be looking at me. Even the people these aboki that are picking themselves, they'll be looking at me like, is this girl okay? Because they see there is something particular to some people. Maybe those abokis only that can pick, and then they end up like they'll be looking at you like that, and some of them they'll be like, come and pick here. They will now start making
jest of
me, but I'm this kind of person that I don't really get what people are thinking about me to get to me. I mean, so far as I'm cool with it, I know what I'm using it to make, so it doesn't get to me. I do what I want to do with confidence, and people laughing doesn't change anything for me. So
yeah, you know, it's actually amazing that we, you know, this point you just noted was something that the guest last week actually made mention of. Like, you see people on the streets picking up plastics, and it's not gotten to us as, you know, a people yet. We still feel like it's meant for certain people. Yeah. But someone right now who is not in the studio, hearing your beautiful voice and seeing this your beautiful earring, will not, you know, believe that, okay, it's a plastic you actually picked that, you know, was able to make you turn it into something reusable, something nice this way. It's very interesting to note, and I feel like everyone who is listening, especially if you're a young Nigerian and you feel like, there is no job out there, we have in the studio a young Nigerian who turns trash into treasure. She actually turns plastics into jewelries, and so I'm going to be asking you again, okay, now you're female, would you say that you face any gender-based issues in the upcycling game? Like you just mentioned that people looked at you and they were wondering if you were fine. Aside that, were there any gender-based, you know, discrimination or something relating to that?
Okay, on that point, I never faced any gender-based discrimination.
Amazing.
Yeah, I never faced that.
Okay, so I think with this answer, there's a young girl listening to me right now. There's a young girl listening to me right now. You feel like, can I really do this? You can, right?
Yes, you can.
Everyone can.
Everyone can.
Yeah, because I've been since we started this discussion on plastic waste. Aside the consciousness that it's been bringing to me personally, and I've been seeing some stories on the internet, I've been making research, I feel like everyone can actually buy into this, especially if you're unemployed at this point. All right, so can you share some, want to hear some success stories, you know, of community initiatives that have effectively turned plastic waste into valuable resources? Like, have you ever done any project in, you know, a community that was a wow for you?
Okay. I'll first start off by saying, so I'm a co-founder of an organization called Sustainable Building Blocks.
Okay.
So what we do is the company is in Cairo. So what we do is we go to these communities and we find children who are disadvantaged. Probably their parents can afford to pay their school fees. So these children are at home, and you and I know that those children are at risk of getting into crimes, doing things, getting into drugs and doing things they are not supposed to do. So we take advantage of that. We involve these children in upcycling. We train them in upcycling skills and other skills that will help them like develop their creativity and, you know, give them a chance to life. Just take them up the street and make them think that they can actually do something better of their life, apart from just, you know, going from one place to another and causing issues. So yes. And so we do that program like every month. We do it every month with the kids in Cairo. And we also visit, I mean, each time I visit a school or a community in that space. So we also include orphanages in it, but we particularly focus on the rural areas where nobody is going there. They are just there. And each time I go to that area to engage with those kids, I feel so motivated. Some of them, like, there are some shapes that I have not explored, and when I show them, okay, you can do it like this, and I ask them, okay, I want you to do something of your own, don't copy what I did, and they caught shapes that I'm amazed. Like last time I went to an orphanage in Kubwa. I didn't even know an orphanage was in that area, but it's like in the slump of Kubwa, and there was this little boy. He made a shape, like all together love and everything. It was amazing. I felt like
still with the plastic waste.
Yes, I'm like, I have never imagined I could cut something like this, but I mean, you could cut this,
and you don't know how fulfilled they will be,
yes,
doing that and seeing themselves, doing something wonder. Wow.
Yes, they are always very excited. What always excites me about is they welcome it, and they are always very excited. And I think it's something that if most, like every business out there, you don't need to be like an upcycler or but something you can imbibe. You can partner with people who are doing this and support them to help them reach more people and all of that. So the program in Caro always excites me each time I'm going there. Yes.
Wow, thank you so much. Like, that's a lot to learn, and to know that people who are disadvantaged are also being engaged in these practices so that they can actually get value and they can also believe in themselves. So you're listening right now. We are opening the phone lines. You can call in, tell us what you think about turning trash into treasure. Have you tried it before? Some other people probably would have started. You mentioned something. You're a confident person. That's why, regardless of what people are saying, you actually still go ahead to do what you're doing. But I feel like some people might just start. They know, they have an idea, because we have access to phones these days, social media and all like that. And probably someone has stumbled on a post where someone was talking about the danger of, climate change, the effects of this on the climate and all like that. And someone decided, okay, I'm going to take a step. Or a student is saying, okay, I want to start a business from this, but is not confident enough. Yeah. So tell us what you actually feel about this. You can send in your message on WhatsApp, 0911 112 1055. I take the WhatsApp number again, 0911 112 1055. And on telephone, you can call in on 0911 222 1055. All right. So what we also do in the studio here is sometimes we take opinions from individuals, communities, and NGOs. But before we get there, we have a contribution from Eniola. But before we get there, would you say there are new or innovative methods or technologies that communities are actually, you as an individual and communities are actually using to recycle this waste into useful products? Innovative method, because looking at your earring and looking at a plastic of bottled water, they are two different things, but the similarity is they're both plastics. Yeah. So would we say that it takes something very cumbersome to actually arrive at this result, or something like not so stressful, but if I put in my little effort, I can actually have this? I wish my listeners can see this. Well, I'm going to be posting it on our Twitter handle at TDEV Reports, yeah, and on our YouTube channel too. I'm going to be posting that. But right now, you need to see what I'm saying, because what's on my mind is a plastic. What did you use to make this one?
Plastic bottle.
Wow. So what's on my mind is looking at a plastic, a bottled water, and then looking at something innovative coming out of that. So is this a process? Is this a cumbersome process? Did it require innovative methods to actually arrive at this?
The process is very easy.
Wow.
So you get your plastic bottle. First of all, make sure you wash it very well. I cut them into like these shapes. I wanted it to be this shape, so I cut them into these shapes, and then I use a candlelight to heat them up a bit, because it's plastic. If you cut it and leave it like that, it will have sharp edges that it might cut you. So, and using heat to form it like this also make it look more beautiful. So I use heat around it. I use a jump ring. If you're someone out there who make beads, or you're familiar with bead making or jewelry making, you will know what I'm talking about. A jump ring, they sell them ready-made. You can also make them by yourself. So I just use it to connect them together and get an earring hook, or I make my own. And that's it. You're done making your earring. The process is very easy, and you require nothing or less to produce it.
Amazing. Wow. All right. So I would also want to ask, looking at the economic implication of this and job creation, because one of the things that is almost in the mouth of every Nigerian is, there are no jobs. Yeah. So looking at what you're doing right now, talking to a Nigerian who is probably tired or feeling frustrated or all like that, could you tell us the implications of this? How can this add to the economic development? How is this possible? Make it easier to them, because I believe someone is listening and feels like, I don't have a job. Is this really possible? What do I need to do, right? So make it easy so that these people can really understand, let's know if there are any economic implications to this, or it's just something, I just do, and do you sell them? Let people know the economic implication of this, and if this is really solving job creation issues real time. Yeah.
Okay, so when I first started, I was just a fashion designer, which I've always liked unique things. And if I begin to mention the places this I'm doing has taken me, you can only imagine. Also last year, November, I was at the American Embassy. They do, I think, American Recycle Day or something like that. And I sold out.
Wow.
Apart from that, I get invited to a lot of exhibitions that most times I don't even get to pay for space, and I get sold out. I have gotten collaborations with very big organizations that wanted to use my jewelry on the wrong way, and I get paid for it.
Amazing.
I also have one coming up next month, July 13.
Wow.
They are collaborating with me to use my jewelry on their own way. So it's not just something. When I started, I was doing it for fun, but as time goes on, I'm making it like my major source of income right now, because I get to train people, I get paid, I make them, I sell, I have customers. Sometimes I'm even skeptical posting them, because when I post, people are like, I want this one, and I want this one. And because it's upcycling, I also upcycle fabric waste to go with it.
Amazing.
Sometimes somebody might I want 5 of these, and because it's upcycling, I might not have a lot of that fabric pieces they want to make it, but I usually tell them if I can make it in other fabrics, because I try as much as possible to upcycle everything around me. And also, if you're out there and you're listening, this is not just a hobby. I'm making money from it big time. You can start it as well, and it will definitely increase. If you're jobless, it will give you something to do that you can make money from and get recognitions, because as we all know, climate change is one of the pressing issues we are facing right now, and if you're in that space, you are at a very great advantage, and there are so many grants out there to support things like this. So it's something everyone should buy into.
It's amazing how you're making your money and you're solving a problem at the same time.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, let's take a break, and we'll be back. we're still on the development report and we're celebrating champions. You know, we have a wonderful guest. It's amazing how people can actually work and solve a problem at the same time. Taking the opinion of Eniola here, who says, when people recycle plastic waste into something useful. Meanwhile, she's a youth corper. You said was it during your youth corper days you started yours?
No, I started it. I was still in school then.
Amazing.
I attended a boot camp called Street Project Foundation.
Wow. And Eniola here is a youth corps member. She's saying it shows creativity and resourcefulness. If you're listening to this, I want to tell you that you can actually give this a push, a go ahead, because you never can tell. The guest you're listening to in the studio is a young and beautiful lady who started hers when she was in school, and it was just her going for a program. Yeah. So back to what Eniola says, recycling plastic waste reduces the amount of waste in landfills, yes, you know, and decreases greenhouse gas emissions. Amazing. It also promotes culture of sustainability and encourages others to rethink waste management. So I already feel like you have an opinion that this is a yes, or it's a good thing, because you'll be amazed that some people do not even want to talk about this discussion.
Yeah.
But what are you saying? Okay, it's meant for certain people. It's meant for some airlines. It's not everyone that should do this. Yeah. But interestingly, we can see that aside this solving the problem, or knowing that this is actually something that can solve a climate issue problem, right? Even a health problem because of the plastic not being degradable, and it's just there. We still use the same plants, you know, plants are foods and all like that. All the implications to this, some people do not even understand that this has any effect. Oh, they're just asking us to do this, or maybe somebody just wants to stress us. But that's not the reality of this, right? So I want to be asking you another question. Going to communities and doing the things you do you think that communities actually face challenges in their effort to actually manage waste? Looking at a community and then, I want to go there to do something, on plastic waste. I want to go there to do something innovative. Do you think there are setbacks, probably from cultural mindset, probably from anything, right? Do you think there are challenges you faced over the communities have faced over the years that makes it difficult for people to actually penetrate into these communities?
Yes, totally. Because first of all, getting access to do a program, they require you to probably go and meet. You'll say you should go and meet the community chiefs and all of that. And when you go into these communities, you're trying to offer a solution here which will benefit the whole community and the people here, but
you're stressing on it.
Yes, and then the chief there, they'll be thinking that, this thing this person is trying to come and do, maybe they have gotten one big money somewhere, or this thing they are doing is for their own good. They'll be trying to get money from you, get you to give them something. And I would say since we started our project, we've not gotten funding from anybody. We have been doing this from our pockets. So that has been a challenge. And then parents as well. Most times we try, release your children, we want to join. But I'll say that when we started, it was a bit challenging. But as time goes on, parents have seen what their children are doing now. Some of them, they are the ones giving their children to us. You can have them, teach them, and all of that. So yes, it has gotten to that. Some parents will just be like, anytime you need this child, he or she is available for you to teach and all of that. So, and then in those communities, there are some people who believe that, it's health is going to heal itself. There is nothing you can do. So let's just continue doing what we are doing. All this thing you're doing, you're just trying to waste your time and all of that. But then you see them living in slums, the pollution around them is crazy, and they don't mind. They are sitting there, they are eating there. They don't know the implications this is causing to their health. Every day you go, I'm sick, I'm this, I'm that. They don't actually know that their environment is contributing to their health issues and all of that. So I think one of the major steps we should take towards this is climate education, and not just in urban areas. Like, we should take it to the lowest, to the deepest of villages.
Slum.
Yes, to the slum. If we want to really solve this problem of climate change, we should take it to those places to educate these people. Climate education is a very important, key to stopping this.
So it's amazing. Now people feel like you're taking advantage of them because you're coming to say, oh, let's do this together. That's the mindset.
Yes.
And it's unfortunate because with that kind of mindset, it will be it will restrain you from pouring out the wholeness of what you actually want to do.
Yes.
So do you think that if the government and the and even corporate entities, businesses, put in effort, or do you feel like they're doing a lot? Do you think they are, penetrating into these communities to let them know? Let it not just, because I feel like we talk about this climate issue, this waste management stuff a lot. Yeah. You go on LinkedIn, it's everywhere, you see them. But the people these things affect, day to day. Now we're talking about cholera outbreak and all like that. Are people even cautious that these plastics you throw everywhere, and you can even, so like, what do you feel like, the government should be doing on their parts, and even local businesses too, right? Because we are all responsible for the way the earth, would look like at the end of the day. What do you think, we should be doing as a people collectively to ensure that these people in the slums, these people in the rural area, are enlightened and on the know about what's going on?
Okay. First of all, say our system of education needs to change. The curriculum, they need to include.
We have to step up,
Yes, we need to include this in our curriculum.
Imagine if we have climate change as a subject. Waste management as a subject.
So times
have changed, honestly. Times have changed,
totally. And there are some set of people. There was one time I was in a vehicle going home, and this man took more Fanta, and when he was done, he just threw the bottle outside the car, and I asked him, why did you do that? He said, if he doesn't do that, the people sweeping won't have work to do. Oh. That is a mindset that needs to change. So climate education, it cannot be overemphasized. It's something that needs to be, we need to take it to the slum, to the people, because the people who need to hear this, most of them don't have phones. They don't have access to the internet. They don't even know what effect this is having on them. So we need to take it there. Start from there, from the grassroots.
Yeah.
To, make an impact and all of that. So, yeah.
Thank you. The last question I'll be asking you today is, what advice would you give to other communities, looking to start their own recycling and waste management project? Because someone might be listening now and he or she's in a community. I'm like, we've never had people come to our community to even try this. If they try it, we're going to support the person with the whole of our hearts, So what advice would you give to these people in this sector who really want this, but they are not seeing people, they don't even know where to start from, who to, speak to and all like that?
I would say they should just start in whatever way they can, and if they have privilege to internet and they have phones, they should just keep doing what they are doing and putting it out there. And I know a lot of organizations that you don't really need to be turning waste into jewelry to be doing something around that space. I know children who are going to school because they are collecting plastics and giving to some recycling organizations, and their school fees are being paid. There are organizations like that. So just start, continue doing what you're doing, be putting it out there. Someday somebody will see you, and the little you're doing, it doesn't go unnoticed at all. It doesn't go unnoticed. So just continue doing what you're doing. And if you have access to the internet, like I said, just keep putting it out there, and definitely,
wow,
you're making an impact.
Yeah. every small step is actually very important.
Yes.
In this journey of waste management, consciousness of I want to manage waste. We don't have to wait. Like I feel like we don't have to wait till it's a big project.
No.
Every small thing, like the consciousness of I'm going out and I need to take a big bag so I don't get nylons. So
Very
much
important.
leathers. Yeah. I take bottled water and then I pack it somewhere, and even if I don't want to take it directly, I could give it to someone to sell, right?
Yes.
Or give it to an upcycler who needs it to produce something else. Yeah. So every small step we take, like we've had a very amazing conversation. Trust me, like everyone who's listening to this conversation, I believe that with our step, with my step, with your step, we're going to do a whole lot for Nigeria as a whole and the globe as a whole. We have to call this a wrap here because of time, but I want us to take a moment to celebrate community champions who are turning trash into treasure. Thank you to our esteemed guests. You're a wonderful person. You're doing amazing. And I'm definitely going to share this earring on my page so people can relate to what's actually going on here, yeah? And my heartfelt thank you to everyone who's listening to this program right now, and to my amazing producer in the studio with me, Mr. Hyacinth Akpan. Thank you very much. And also to Mr. Charles Carlo. All right, you can join us next week for another captivating episode of the Development Report, where we'll continue our journey towards a brighter and more sustainable future. Here's the call to think upon. Sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability